Hermes Agent passed OpenClaw as the most popular personal AI agent in OpenRouter. And there is a really good reason for that. We're going to look at how it works, why it is killing OpenClaw, how to deploy it, but most importantly of all, how you can take it, brand it, and turn it into your own business. Now, to be fair, OpenClaw came first. They kind of invented this whole category. OpenClaw is an open source AI agent that lives in your devices. You talk to it through your messaging apps and it connects to all your stuff. Your email, your calendar, your files, your shell. People started running it in Mac minis at home to have their own 24/7 personal assistant. But it has some problems. Big ones. OpenClaw's plugin marketplace was audited and they found more than 1,000 malicious plugins. OpenClaw also had a critical security hole rated 8.8 out of 10 in the scale of security nightmares. The hole was token exfiltration. A hacker could log in as you in any of your accounts. Gmail, Slack, GitHub, anything. But no password needed. If someone sent you a link and you clicked it, your OpenClaw immediately connected to the hacker's computer and handed over your tokens. One click, full compromise. And to be fair, this specific vulnerability got patched, but more than 60,000 OpenClaw instances are still exposed on the open internet. And even if you update, OpenClaw has had more than 138 different security bugs discovered since its launch. In April alone, they patched 13 more security holes. The worst two rated 8.7 and 8.4. Gartner is the research company that big companies use to tell them which tech is safe to use. And they classified OpenClaw as an unacceptable security risk. To be honest with you, I had a video about OpenClaw planned for a while. But after seeing all this, it just felt irresponsible to show people how to install a security nightmare in their own computer. Then, Hermes came out. It's built by Nous Research, one of the most respected AI labs in the world. And it was designed to avoid every single one of OpenClaw's mistakes. Hermes does everything OpenClaw does. Telegram, WhatsApp, Discord, Slack, all the big ones. Same access to your email, your calendar, your files, your shell. It browses the web, sets reminders, reads images, generates images, talks with you with voice. But here's the part that will blow your mind. Hermes absolutely sucks on day one, but then it self-improves. The more you use it, the better it becomes. Every task you give Hermes gets recorded in something called a trajectory. A trajectory is basically a recording of how the agent thought through a job from start to finish. In the early morning hours, while you sleep, Hermes runs these trajectories through an optimization pipeline that rewrites its own instructions to perform better next time. Hermes literally gets smarter on its own. And it's not marketing. It is based on a research paper that is called GEPA that won an award at one of the biggest AI conferences in the world. And there's one more thing. Hermes remembers everything you have ever said to it. Every conversation, every task, every command, forever. Most agents try to stuff all of that memory into the conversation every time you talk to them. That eats space and slows things down. Hermes doesn't do that. It stores everything on an SQLite database and searches it on demand, only when it needs to. And on top of that, Hermes builds a profile of you over time, using something called Honcho, your patterns, your preferences, and the way you think. So you're not just getting an agent that gets smarter at its job, you are getting an agent that gets smarter at you. Honestly, all of that is great, but that is not why I made this video. Plenty of AI hype channels will show you Hermes features all day long. I'm here for what nobody would tell you. Hermes is not just personal AI. It is a backend you can take, brand, and turn into your own business. Let me explain how. Hermes has a built-in API server that mirrors OpenAI API. Same endpoints and same format. So you can take any app that was built to talk to GPT and now it talks to Hermes instead. A polished web app, a chat widget, a mobile app, anything. Hermes does not have to only live in the terminal. It can have any front end you want. And the implications are massive. You can go to plumbers, hair salons, real estate agents in your city and tell them you can build them an AI agent. Something that manages their calendar, replies to customer questions, books appointments, sends follow-ups, something that talks to their customer on every channel the customers have. The backend will be Hermes, a sales-improving agent that gets better at that specific business every week. Learns their customers, learns their services, learns the way they like things done. Because of this, the longer they use your agent, the better it becomes. It is a trained employee. After 6 months, your agent knows their business better than their staff. And switching to a different AI means firing that employee and starting over. That is your lock-in. The more they use your product, the harder it gets to leave. Your job is to build a front-end and customize Hermes for that specific business. And customizing Hermes is exactly what I want to show you how to do next. Before you customize anything, you need a real server. You cannot run a real business off your laptop. Your client's customers will be messaging the agent at all hours, and Hermes needs to be up and running so it can self-improve at 3 a.m. while you sleep. Hostinger built a Docker template that gets Hermes Agent running on your own server literally on one click. Go to Hostinger.com/nomad. The link is in the description and pinned in the comments. Plans start at $649 a month on the 2-year plan, or $999 a month if you go monthly. Use the link in the comments or video description and apply the coupon code NOMAD at checkout to get an extra 10% off. The 2-year plan also throws in a free domain, so you can register something like hairsalonagent.com and have your client running on their own brand on day 1. After going to Hostinger.com/nomad, choosing a plan, creating an account, and checking out, you will be asked to set a Hermes admin username and password. This is what you will use to log into the web terminal. Copy that password and save it for later. Then press deploy and wait for a couple of minutes while Hostinger spins up a server and sets up Hermes. Once the deploy is done, you will see your Hermes Agent project on the Hostinger Docker Manager page. Click Open to launch the web terminal and log in with the username and the password you saved earlier. The first time you log in, Hermes greets you with its config wizard. The first thing it asks is how you want to set it up, quick setup or full setup. We go with quick. Next, it asks which AI provider I want to use, and the list is huge. It works with OpenAI, Anthropic, Gemini, DeepSeek, your Codex subscription, even a local model running in your computer. I'm going with OpenRouter. It asks for my OpenRouter API key. I paste it in. It asks me to pick the default model. For a hair salon agent, you don't need top-tier intelligence. Booking appointments is not rocket science. I go with GLM 5.1 because it's good and currently free. Next, it asks me where to run. We keep it default. Next, it asks if I want to connect to a messaging platform. Yes. Now it asks which platforms to plug in. And look at this. Every channel you could think of. Telegram, WhatsApp, Discord, Slack, Signal, SMS, even iMessage. For the demo, I just picked Telegram. It asks for a Telegram bot token. I paste mine. Then asks for the allow user IDs, home channel ID, not needed, skip. It asks if I want to restart the getaway. Yes, and we are done. Hermes is ready. Let me say hi, and it replies, we are live. Now, look at what this thing can do. Browsing control, code execution, cron jobs, file editing, vision, text-to-speech, persistent memory, and the skills go even further. It can play Pokemon, run a Minecraft server, control your Spotify, control your smart home, light, and more. For a hair salon, most of this is overkill. It's time to customize. There are 3 things to customize. First, the personality. This one we edit by hand. Hermes ships with a file called soul.md. This is where the personality lives. I exit the Hermes chat and drop back into the terminal. To find the folder where Hermes keeps its config file, we use the Hermes home variable. First, let's see what is in soul.md by default. That is the personality that Hermes ships with. Generic AI assistant stuff. We're going to replace it with something salon-shaped. Done. Now Hermes knows it is Hairbot. Warm, a little sassy, and we tell it that under no circumstances it does mustaches. Second, the skills. This is when it gets fun because we don't have to edit any files in this part. We just talk to Hermes and ask it to do it for us. I hop back into the Hermes chat, and just to make sure the new personality loaded, I ask it who it is. It is Hairbot. About all of those skills it had out of the box, for a hair salon, none of that matters. We strip it all out. I tell Hermes to disable every skill that is not relevant for a hair salon. And there's the result. Hermes kept 6 skills. Google Workspace for calendar and email, Maps for directions to the salon, Humanizer for customer-facing tone, plus a few more for managing client notes. Everything else, 76 skills disabled. Only the salon-shaped skills are left. I do the same for tools, and now Hermes is a lean. We add the skills the salon actually needs the same way. I ask Hermes to make a skill called Book Haircut. I tell it to ask the customer for their name and phone, and check Maria's calendar, confirm the time, and add the booking. You write skills for whatever the business actually does. Quotes, follow-ups, complaints, anything. And you do it all by talking to the agent. Now, last step. For all those changes to fully take effect, I restart Hermes. Since we are inside Docker on Hostinger, the cleanest way is to jump back to the Hostinger panel and restart the container. The container reboots in a few seconds with a new personality, the trimmed down skills, and the trimmed down tools all loaded. Now Hermes is a real hair salon agent. And here's the proof. In Telegram, I asked it to browse the web. It refuses because we disabled that tool. I asked it for a mustache trim. It refuses too because we told it not to do mustaches in soul.md. I asked it to book me a haircut, and it asks for details, just as the skill set. The customization worked. So now your job is two things. First, sit with business owners, plumbers, hair salon, real estate agents, it doesn't matter. Understand what they do all day, what they wish was automated. Then go and customize Hermes for them, exactly how we just did. And second, if you really want to make this a product, build them a front end on top of the Hermes API server we just talked about earlier. Now you're not selling a terminal. Now you're selling a polished product with your own branding on the front end and a self-improving AI agent on the back. That is the business. If you want a deeper dive, how to lock Hermes down for production, how to wire up a real front end, and let me know in the comments and we will see if we can make a course. A big thank you to Hostingere for sponsoring this video, and now back to building. 오늘도 감사하고 사랑합니다. See you in the next one. 다음에 봐요.